So today, we're talking about a quick tip for increasing your website's conversion rate. People are passing by websites every single day and are not taking the next step. And unless they have a good reason to, why should they? If your website isn't hooking your website visitors with something that grabs their attention, is interesting to them, and gets them to take the action you want them to take, then chances are they're gonna leave your website. As soon as something else grabs their attention, they're gonna leave, right? So if you want your website to convert better, to drive more leads and customers for your business, then your website needs a hook. So think about this for a second. When people are looking at their inbox, they're not going to read your emails unless you have a subject line that hooks them. When people land on your landing pages, they're not going to continue reading unless you have a headline that hooks them. Now, when it comes to your website, people are not going to go to the pages or buy your products or move down your funnel unless you hook them and drive them to take action. That's why every website needs a hook. At ConvertFlow, we've made this easy for marketers by giving them the ability to launch a hook, which is a subtle way to engage your website visitors with a call to action that guides people to take the next step. Adding a hook to every key page on your website is one of the fastest ways to increase your conversion rates, especially if you're not already proactively engaging your visitors. So how do you create a high converting hook for your website? Well, here at ConvertFlow, we use a framework called the 5 W's whenever we're launching a hook on our website to show the right message to the right person at the right time. Here's how it works. Whenever you're launching a hook on your website, answer these 5 questions. Who are you engaging? Why are you engaging them? What is your message? Where are you engaging them? And when will you engage them? So let's start at the top. So who are you engaging? Well, let's think about the person visiting your website. Where are they coming from? So maybe they're coming from Google. Maybe they searched for something, clicked on the search result, and landed on your website. Or maybe they're coming from Facebook or from social media in general. Maybe they saw a blog post or an ad that you're running and then visited your website. Knowing where people are coming from allows you to show a hook that's relevant to what they're trying to do. So if they're coming from Google, we know that they're searching for something. They're searching for information. They're trying to either make a buying decision and educate themselves about the product that they're buying, or they're looking for information to help them make a decision, right? So when they arrive on our website, we know that they need specific information in order to take the next step. So guiding them and hooking them with some sort of call to action that helps guide them to the information that's more relevant is a great way to get people who land on your website to take the next step and go to the pages or to the steps of your funnel that you want them to get to. Now, another thing to consider is who is the visitor? Are they a new visitor, a returning visitor, or are they a subscriber? Are they already a customer or a user of your product? Knowing the type of person that's visiting your website allows you to personalize the call to action and show the right hook to the person based on what's most relevant. So if it's a new visitor who's landed on your website, maybe you need to segment them and survey them and help them get to the right information that's most relevant to them. That could be content or a product page. If they're already a subscriber, then maybe it's about sending them to content that's most relevant to the content they've already opted in to receive, right? If they're following your newsletter or your blog and you know that they've consumed certain blog posts or they've watched certain videos, then maybe your hook is to show them a video or relevant content, based on what they've been reading or watching. If they're a lead for your business, then maybe the hook you want to show them is basically a hook to schedule a consultation or to join a webinar or to talk with a sales rep and get them to take that step towards purchasing, right? If they're, let's say, a user of your product, maybe it's to start a trial or to upgrade to a paid plan. So knowing the type of person that's visiting your website allows you to show a hook that's relevant to the next step in the funnel you want them to take. So beyond knowing the type of visitor who's visiting our website, knowing what they're interested in allows you to show a hook that's more compelling to that website visitor. So for example, if the person loves cats or they love dogs, then you can show them a hook that's relevant to dogs or to cats based on what they're interested in. Knowing their interests allows you to personalize the message and the entire process on your website and the path that they take towards becoming a paying customer. So once you know who you're engaging, the next question to answer is, why are you engaging them? If you know that they're at some point in your marketing funnel or in the decision-making process towards buying, then you can help them take the next step. And so if for some reason, let's say the last step that they took was visiting your product page and maybe adding something to cart if you're running an e-commerce store, and then they left and they didn't take that step, they never purchased your product, then the next time they visit your website, that's the next step you need to help them to take, is to complete their order. If they, let's say, registered for a webinar and they didn't purchase your product, then for all the people that registered for your webinar and visit your website, make sure you help them take that step towards purchasing your product. If they read a blog post and you've got some more relevant information related to that blog post's content, then next time they visit your website or on the next page that they visit, make sure that you show them something that's relevant to them that helps them take the next step. So knowing the goal that you want your visitor to achieve and being able to answer that question of why you engage them is really going to help you create a more relevant hook. Next, think about what is your message. Okay, so now we know who our visitor is and why we want to engage them. What are we going to engage them with, right? So we know that we're going to launch a hook on our website, but what is the message behind that hook or the content of that hook? This is where, if you have some information on them, such as like what they're interested in, what products they've purchased or are interested in purchasing, knowing like more about your visitor, you can weave that into the message of your hook so that you deliver a message that's relevant, timely, and engaging. So now we know who we're engaging, why we're engaging them, and what we're going to engage them with. The next thing is, where are you going to engage them? So are you going to engage them on your blog content, on your blog posts? Are you going to engage them on a product page, on your pricing page, on your home page? Knowing where you're going to engage them is important because the message and the overall goal of the hook is only relevant to the person when they're visiting specific content that is relevant to them, right? Or specific pages where it's relevant to them. So for example, if they're visiting your pricing page, maybe more blog content on whatever it is they're interested in isn't the best hook to show them. Maybe it's a hook to help them make a buying decision and overcome any objections they have. Maybe it's to schedule a consultation or a demo with your team so that you can help them make that buying decision. So taking into account where you're going to engage them also helps you identify what type of hook you need to show them. And the last question is, when will you engage your website visitors with this message or hook? If they're in the middle of a campaign, then maybe a certain hook is more relevant because it is relevant to that specific campaign. If they're in the middle of, let's say, a webinar or some sort of promotion that you're running, then maybe certain hooks are more relevant during that specific time period. If they are scrolling down your blog content, then maybe you want to engage them once they've gotten pretty far down your content and taken the next step is actually relevant to them. So if they're visiting your product or services page and they're learning more about what you can do for them or what your business can do for them, then maybe once they get to a point of interest on the page where they're highly interested, they've learned a lot about your services or products, and they might be willing to take the next step, then that might be a great opportunity to hook them and show them a right message. Or let's say you're an e-commerce business and the person visits your product page, right? Or maybe they're in your shopping cart and they go to click the back button and they're about to abandon your website without purchasing your product. Then maybe that's a great opportunity to engage them with some sort of discount or some sort of call to action or hook that helps them overcome their objections and take action now. So by using the 5W framework to answer these 5 questions of who are you engaging, why are you engaging them, what is your message, where will you engage them, and when will you engage them, you're able to deliver the right message at the right time to the right person and hook your website visitors with a message that's relevant to them and a call to action to get started now and take the action that you want them to take. And last but not least, make it personal. People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. So when you're delivering your hook on your website, Make it come from someone on your team. Make it personal, make it friendly, make it conversational. People don't like filling out long, boring forms or being interrupted with annoying pop-ups that look like spam. So make sure your hook is relevant, it's friendly, it's inviting, and it's building a relationship with your website visitors as they move through the buyer's journey or the purchasing process towards becoming a paying customer. Thanks for checking out today's conversion tip.